Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. I am your host, the Ref, and y'all already know the routine. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Scoreboard Keepers. You're around here, we don't keep the seats, we keep the score. So if you want to get on the board, make your point. If it makes sense, we'll add it to the board. If it don't, we won't. Scoreboard Keepers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. Once again, I am your host, the Ref, where I keep you up to score in everything sports, hip-hop, and hot topics. So today, as you guys can see on the board, it is Shedeur Sanders versus Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. So the question we have for you today, ladies and gentlemen, which should only take 10 minutes. So let's get this clock rolling, see if I can put some points up on the board. And if you join the show and you be subscribed to the Scoreboard Keepers, you'll be able to put up some points too. We'll most definitely give you that opportunity. Let's get the clock rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, you always know we start off with, first of all, whose man's is this? Whose man's is this? Jimmy Haslam. Who is it? Listen, you would think that he was Jeffrey Lurie, just coming off of a Super Bowl championship. You would think that he was Clark Hunt and them people up there at the Kansas City Chiefs. You would think that he was Robert Kraft. Those people up there in Boston, Massachusetts, and up in that area, in that New England area. You would think that he would have. You would think that he was one of those people coming off of some hardware that he can put up in that facility where those new rookies and free agents can walk in there and say, "Hey, this is a prestigious organization here." No knock to Cleveland. No, this is no knock to the Cleveland fans. I want to be very upfront about that. This is not a knock on the Cleveland fans at all. This is about your owner. I don't understand why a team who just can't seem to get it right when drafting or even poaching a quarterback off of another team can get it right. That's 2 points for me. Okay, who is it? He's the owner. 1 point for him. And that's about where it stops. Because over the years, the Cleveland Browns can't seem to ever get over the hump in that AFC North, no matter who they have. We know that the last person that people are going to fear is them going out here and finding the right quarterback. Then one happens to fall right into their lap, one Shedeur Sanders, and this guy on the right-hand side happens to get up there and start mistreating him. Now, when I say mistreating him, I'm saying that this young man should not have to jump through hoops. He should not have to jump through hoops at all, and that's what I feel like he's doing. Former Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders is battling for depth chart standing with Cleveland Browns, competing against veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett and rookie Dillon Gabriel from out of Oregon. Sanders was a projected first rounder in 2025, but fell to the fifth round, pick number 144, ladies and gentlemen, due to draft day questions about commitment, skipping combines, and attitude in interviews. At camp, Pickett and Gabriel dominate the reps, while Sanders mostly works with the third unit and has had some awkward early reps, like throwing to the staff in drills. Disrespectful. Despite limited reps, he is accurate and poised, completing 70% of passes in recent practice and earning praise for composure and maturity. Well, have you watched films? The last place he need to be proving these kind of things is on the NFL level. There's enough film footage out there to spell all of this nonsense. So what kind of job are they doing? You already know what type of talent that you're getting. Now, if you're looking for Dr. Phil, you're looking in the wrong place. He don't need that. This boy got a father. He has a daddy and a mother. He don't need any parents for his attitude adjustments. Are you kidding me? What? Does anybody know who Johnny Manziel is? Does anybody know who Johnny Manziel is? Are you kidding me? And y'all talking about attitude? Man, come on. Like, are you guys serious? Listen, this kid has a mother and a father. He doesn't need any more parents. He doesn't need anybody telling him about his attitude. Since when don't you want a cocky quarterback? Josh Allen is that. Josh Allen is that. What does the attitude say about him not loving football? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anywhere where his attitude has anything to do with his talent. This is personal. Anybody out there that's saying that this is not personal is a liar. And you're not calling it like you said. There's anybody that's having a problem with Shedeur Sanders right now is only because you don't like him personally. So, what? Tell me how does it affect him on the field? Now, if it was something going on here, now this kid is reserved. I've noticed him when he was at Colorado. He may throw up the watch here and there and all that, but I never saw him off the field doing nothing crazy. The number one thing that I like about him as a young man is I don't see him walking around here with a bunch of girls all around him trying to, prohibit him from getting to where he needs to be. His first love, obviously, is football. He's home working in the backyard of his father's house in a full uniform. This kid loves the sport of football. I'm never going to take that away from Shedeur. Now, about all of the celebrating and the hot dogging, which is what they used to call it, pulling out your popcorn and all that and showing the watch, this, that, and the other, I get it. But trash talking is a part of the sport. It becomes boring if you stop people from doing that. When the NFL stopped T.O. from pulling out his pen out of his sock, when y'all stopped him from throwing popcorn and mingling with the fans, like this, it's boring now. It's boring now. Nobody has more rules than the NFL in a contact sport. And then they wonder why lacrosse is on the rise. And other sports competing with football during the same time. It's there because the entertainers are there. If you're stopping them from entertaining, then what's the purpose? What's the purpose? This is personal, man. This is personal. And like I said, they need to stop this nonsense. They need to stop this nonsense. This is supposed to be a fun sport. It's a game at the end of the day. It's entertainment. It falls under the entertainment industry. So why would y'all try to use these type of things against this young man? Shedeur Sanders is 23 years old. He's 23 years old. If he got out there on that field and you start seeing the things that you're talking about affect his game, then we would understand it and respect it. But we can't understand it and respect it when this thing looks more personal than it does professional. Listen, you guys are absolutely wrong on this. I don't care what nobody says. And I don't know who. I don't even know what this guy's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
I mean, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur. I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation.
What do you mean? What do you mean that's not happening? What do you mean? What does that mean? If they told you on Saturday night you was going to be picking Shedeur, you would have told them that's not happening. What exactly do you mean?
If you'd have told me, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur. I would say that's not happening. But
yeah, you sit up there with that tight ass polo on, and looking like you're ready to go golfing, right, with your hands on your hips. And this is where you know that money thinks that it can just say anything about something they may not know that much about. This is why you hire the people that you hired, so they can make the correct calls, so they can make the proper calls, because they may have been in that profession longer than you. Nobody's going to come into your lane and tell you how to make a deal somewhere on offshore on some oil rig. Nobody's going to do that. So why would you sit up here and just talk about Shedeur like that when he's right behind you on the field? And if we're wrong about assuming what you said, then you should have been more clear. Because obviously, everybody knows, and the fans, he's a fan favorite. Okay, he's a fan favorite out there, that he should be given a fair shot at first team reps. I mean, come on. Joe Flacco's been around the league for 100 years. Kenny Pickett is unproven. Dylan Gabriel, come on. That's his peer. I mean, come on. You guys are most definitely being, y'all hear the buzzer. Y'all hear the buzzer. But I just want to say this before I go. They say that notably Shedeur told his father, Deion Sanders, not to attend training camp to avoid distraction, showing self-awareness and desire to earn it on his own. Well, what do you mean? Just because his father was a professional player, he can't come there and show him the support as a father? It got to be professional. Oh, that's right. He can't have a father. He can't have a father, right? So his father can't come there because he played professional sports. This is some bullshit. This is some absolute bullshit. I hate when things get personal like this and people got to hide behind professionalism in order to take jabs at people. No, Joey Porter Jr.'s father shows up. Any father would step out of the professional thing and look at their son. That's been his son before he was, before he was thinking about the love of football. That's his son. After the game, they go home together. The game don't still continue to go on when they home. He's dad when he's home. He's dad when he's on the field too, but he's coach also. He's dad when the clock strikes 0. I mean, it's just bullshit. Listen, this is just total bullshit, man.
We had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call.
Well, it should have been Andrew Berry's call because that's what you hired him for. Okay? That's what you hired him for. That's why I'm putting points up on you right now. It should have been his call at the end of the day. No. If this organization was all on the same page, then it would have been a collective agreement. It should have been a collective agreement. So if we're misinterpreting what you're saying here as if you shouldn't have taken Shedeur Sanders, then, hey, it's only your fault because you're not being transparent here on what you really mean. You're talking to a lot of people. A lot of people are going to take it in different ways, okay, because you're not being transparent, okay? So we're assuming that you mean that you would have been against taking Shedeur Sanders if he was available for you. And for the life of us, we don't understand that. So, I mean, if Cleveland wants to continue to just be Cleveland and they want to be mediocre in that division, just keep making the choices that you do at the quarterback position, because guess what? The Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, hey, they'll thank you for it. They'll actually send you some flowers for you being so foolish. They'll send you some flowers about, you know what I mean? Because you guys can't get right. You just can't get right. So, hey, listen, points for me. So I just don't understand. I just don't understand it.
Made the call to pick Shedeur, just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call, but that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Well,
if you'd have told me, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur, just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Good thing Andrew made the call. Andrew need a pay raise. Andrew need a pay raise because it don't sound like you guys were all on board with picking Shedeur. And if we're wrong, it's only because you're not being transparent right now, Mr. Jimmy. And I'm confused about how you meant it or how, or what the tone was about you picking Shedeur. All I know is that Shedeur Sanders is doing what he's doing right now. His arm looks the most lively out of all the quarterbacks that you have. Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco. Please, man. This kid is a young talent. He needs to be left alone. He needs to be treated with respect. Y'all need to respect his father. He needs to be put in a position where he can succeed and not be hindered by your personal agendas. I don't care if you don't like this kid or not. He's 23 years old. Give him a chance to succeed and just go mind your business. It's a damn shame that these young athletes have to go through this type of stuff that if he was my son, he would be leaving that camp. Yeah, he would be leaving that camp. Not because I said so. Because I said so, he would be leaving that camp. Not because you said so. No, he ain't there because you mistreating this boy. You mistreating him. This is not professional. So if he chose to leave, everybody would say, he can't. If his dad was to step in there to make sure you guys are not mistreating him, this is not football. That's not football when you tell somebody you don't want them. But why should he have to jump through hoops in order to impress you? No, he should be on the same plane as everybody else. Dylan Gabriel is slowly just going about his business. Nobody's harassing him. He's slowly going about his business and he can focus on the game because he ain't got to deal with all the outside nonsense, all the outside bickering. Shedeur Sanders should have that same type of respect, and he's not getting it there. And as a father, I would expect a father to do the same thing for his child, to give him the right advice, which that Deion Sanders would do if he found out there was a lot of nonsense going on, which we found out that it was from him. There was a lot of things going on while he was in the process of going through some health issues. Things that don't have anything to do with football. If this had something to do with football, if you benched my son or something like that because he wasn't doing his job, people respect that. You can't respect when it's personal. And that's what it seems like with Shedeur when you come out here and you make public statements like this. Because it's not clear. It's not transparent. So how is he supposed to take it? So he has to tell his dad not to come to camp because he want to do it on his own. Why? Because everybody's going to assume that Deion Sanders is pushing buttons behind the scene because he's Deion Sanders. Oh, not dad? Stop it. Any man would do that for their child. If that was your son, he was in college and he was being mistreated. Oh, no, you want everybody to give him a ribbon just for participation. Come on, just stop. Nobody wants their loved ones being mistreated. I don't care what spectrum it is. Show that kid some respect. Shedeur Sanders, do your thing, man. I'm not all about the celebrations and all that kind of stuff. I was the type of football player when I scored, somebody told me to act like you've been there before. So I ain't have to do all that, this, that, and the third. I just want to get back in the end zone again. You understand what I'm saying? I want to get in there as many times as I can. Okay? As many times as I can. But different people celebrate differently. That's the different personalities. That's the beauty of the game. Because we can't see you behind the mask. Football players understand that. Fans can't see those players face behind the mask. So when they celebrating, they giving them a celebrating. Then y'all say, don't take the helmet off. You take the helmet off, guess what they do, people, when you take the helmet off? Flag on the play. Flag on the play. You can't take your helmet off. So damn, let the players be themselves. They need to stop putting so many rules on the game. You're making it not fun. The safeties can't tackle any longer. That's one of my biggest pet peeves right there. Of all the positions, and this is coming from a former wide receiver, Of all the positions in football, I hate the fact that they have basically taken the safety out the game. The safety can't do what he used to do. He can't. He's no longer the general. The safety is no longer the no-fly zone. You got receivers running everywhere. 7-on-7. You might as well put a flag on them. I mean, damn, it ain't no stopping them. That's why you got 40, 50 points a game. I'm just dropping points on this guy. Listen, man, get it together. This game is becoming somewhat listen, this game is just becoming really hard to watch sometimes. It really is becoming really hard to watch. You're actually making it to where these players are running to other teams, making an imbalance in the league. They don't want to play against each other any longer. They're finding it hard to get paid. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you got a player like this that comes in there, leave him alone. He just got there. He's trying to make an NFL roster. Does anybody know how hard that is? The competition is everywhere on every throw. So now he got to deal with the outside noise. His father had some health issues, and he's trying to make an NFL roster, and he has a brother trying to make an NFL roster in Tampa Bay. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. If you don't want Shedeur Sanders, there's some other teams I'm sure that do, because all he's doing is lighting up the Browns in practice. If you're not going to give him a fair chance, let him go. Let him go. Let him go make his bones somewhere else. Because I'm telling you right now, if that was my son and I found there was some nonsense going on up in there, we leaving. We leaving. We out. Because it ain't business at that point. It's personal. And it should never become that in sports, especially from ownership. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. Shedeur Sanders, we wish you the best up there. You now have the Scoreboard Keepers having your back, okay? We hope that you get the proper chances and the proper opportunity that you deserve, okay? I know once you get them, you will maximize them. I'm a firm believer that rookies should sit out the first year. I've always been like that. This has nothing to do with this situation. I never thought that rookie quarterbacks should come in and start in football. But if you're more talented than the other ones, then it's a no-brainer. You have no choice. You have no choice. In this situation, in this situation here, being as though that Joe Flacco and all them is there, Joe Flacco got to be damn near 50. Okay, and Kenny Pickett's hurt, whatever, and then you have there is your colleague and a fellow mate, Dylan Gabriel. Then you should have a fair shot at getting first team reps, and ain't no excuse. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. I look forward to seeing them. I will respond. I am your host, the Ref. I will see you on the next episode of the Scoreboard Keepers. Peace.